I missed last week. Apologize. And I'm gonna take my glasses off because lately I can see better. I don't know what that's about. But and I don't match and I don't care. It has been it's been a rough week. But I am here and I want to go over some of my stats. My sales are finally picking up. I'm really glad about that. You know, I used to worry. I used to worry a lot, and I used to think, that's it. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to go do something else because my sales aren't making it. Don't do that. They always, always, always pick up. Actually, right now I've been working a lot when I can on my spare time on Nifty. So when I started on Nifty, I wasn't doing Depop. And so now what I'm doing is adding all of I'm down to 4,776 listings to Depop. And the only way you can do that is manually, one by one. I really, really wish that there was a way to do it easier. So on days that I feel like sitting here, I try to do between 50 and 100 at a time. So I'm getting close. I have about 3,000 some hundred listings, and some things I don't put on Depop, and some things I don't put on Poshmark, or I put on Poshmark and I don't put, and I also have Etsy, but my Etsy things are very, very limited. I can't give you the stats right now because I actually have everything up, and I'm sorry about my voice. I'm not real sure what happens when I do chemo. My voice just kind of goes. I don't have any problems and my glands are fine. It's just one of those things. So I sound hoarse. Sorry. So this week, because I promised 2 weeks ago that I would keep the places that I sold, I guess I could get rid of that column. Delete that column. So everything I sold this last week, 14 to 21 of July, was in the United States. But some of the things that I sold, I had quite a few: California, Colorado, Ohio, OH. I am a Buckeyes fan. Pretty much like all over Puerto Rico. That is one that I did. That I had. So, what was my highest sale? I'm pretty sure it was the Barbie. And I got to talk about Poshmark too, because something just came out today and I want to talk about it. But let me give you kind of my stats. Oh no, I'm wrong. I sold a shirt called by The Fold. It was an ivory new with tags, clever crepe cassia wrap, silver top, sleeveless top. And I sold that for $90 and plus shipping. Actually, no, not plus shipping. It was sold on Poshmark. And below that was a Barbie, and she was a 1985 Barbie Christie. She was vintage, tropical long hair. Sold her for $65. My lowest sale looks like it's going to be this: a Stone Mountain Holly Icon crocheted pot holder mud pie. It was brand new, $14. That went to Florida. So those are my sales. I had 2 Depop, several eBay, and not a whole lot of Poshmark. Kind of surprised about that. So Poshmark. Did you guys get the email today? So today is Thursday. So you're not going to get this video till tomorrow. So hopefully you all have gotten the video or the email from Poshmark and the changes they are making. Number one, Poshmark, thank you for communicating with us. As you know, and if you sell on eBay, eBay will change things. eBay will have problems. eBay will update. eBay will say they aren't going to do something, and then a week later they say they are. Like, eBay doesn't care. doesn't communicate, could care less. Could care less if we know what's going on, could care less if we know there's a problem, could care less if there's an update. They just don't care about us, period. And that goes to show with their lack of, number one, accountability, and their lack of letting us know what's going on. Shame on you, eBay. And you know what happens? Sometimes when people, companies, and people, when they get too big, you know, they lose their focus. And actually, I'm going through something. I am not, but I am somewhat involved in a situation where this is very similar, where the owner is oblivious, just totally oblivious to what is going on, and is like la la la, and literally the rug is being pulled out from underneath her, and everybody can see it except for her. And it's the same thing with eBay. eBay, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. Number one, you're scaring away new buyers because new sellers, because you don't communicate. Like, who wants to start on a platform where, well, just start listing, you'll figure it out, you know? Well, anyway, it's really sad because I have been on eBay over 20 years, and it has been one of my biggest platforms, but the amount of lack of respect towards the sellers is just undeniable. It's just undeniable, and it's sad. And what has happened is eBay is now governed by a board, and you've got these, you know, we can all imagine, but, you know, men in suits and smoking their cigars and, you know, having a early morning mimosa while, you know, not doing eBay business. You know, is that really what's happening? I don't really know. We don't know because we have no clue. No clue. So let me get off that eBay bandwagon before they cut my sales or something because I talk bad about them. Poshmark. Kudos to Poshmark. Number one for reaching out. They had the Q3 seminar, and I hope that you took the time to watch it, where they introduced, because I'm not good at names and because I have chemo brain. Oh, come on. I think I got rid of the email already, but poop. Where they introduced somebody new, and that person listened to us about the how people were getting banned because they were delisting too fast. Well, they got rid of that. It's gone. Delist, list, whatever you want. Do what you want to make your store run the way you want it. That is all we wanted. So that is done. The second thing that they have done is they have instituted a new kind of like the ambassador program. Well, now it goes according to, see, Lisa, you should have kept the email. Can I find it fast enough? Who knows? Who knows, who knows, who knows? Let's see. Nope, you cannot. I cannot. Oh, such a bad reseller. Not being able to give you guys the exacts. Hold on, we're going to give it one more try here. Yep, you go girl. Okay. And no, that isn't it. That's just the reminder for the Q3 and what's ahead. But anyway, the person who joined is Heather Friedland, who is now the Chief Product Officer. And she's the one who's listening to us. So what has happened now is me still searching. Okay, we're done. I'm not going to find it. Basically, it's going to go according to your sales and how many sales you have every 90 days. And it has to do with your cancellations, and your returns. When product returns, people have problem with your products. And I think it's like 2%, keeping it above the 2%. And I'll be honest, I think I'm at 1.5 because you can check that out. In order to check it out, they kind of gave the wrong directions for this. So let me go in here and give you the right, unless they were using the mobile, and I didn't use the mobile. So you want to go into your sales, and then My Posh Stats. Did you guys know this was here? And then you want to look at seller cancellations and approved return cases. So I have 1.5%. My total sales for the last 90 days is $5,406. So I believe, I can't remember, but I think it's $500. But hopefully you all got the email. If not, I'm sure this is something that we can find in here. So I guess the ambassador status is kind of defunct at this point. But anyway, when you keep, for every 90 days that you keep within the boundaries that they set, your closet is going to be seen more. Gosh, if only eBay would listen. So Poshmark, I kind of feel like this is what's happening. You know, eBay's been here. eBay's been king, queen, whatever you want to say. And Poshmark came along and trudging. And honestly, I'm telling you, eBay, pay attention. I mean, it would take a lot for Poshmark to overpower eBay. eBay's massive, but could it happen? Heck yeah. Anything can happen in this market. So anyway, I did want to talk about that. I'm sorry that I threw that away. Poop. But I hope that you got it, and I hope that you paid attention to it. And let's see, do I have how many, my sales for, my average sale was $29.39. And I don't have the stats. I sold 27 items total, which is so low. I sell 30 items per weekend, so you can tell that my sales have kind of dipped. But considering my situation right now, I'm okay with it. There are some days, everything that it just takes everything I can to get the shipping out the door. And of course, we'll follow that later with the update. If you're not like what's going on here, I give my cancer update at the end of my videos. And everything is just going the way it should go. I am doing well, and I will talk about that later. But anyway, find the Poshmark email, read it. And if you're looking for it, and if you can't find it, hit me up. I will find it and I will forward it to you. But it's way cool. Poshmark, thank you for listening to us. I don't know, man, my head is. Huh? Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for communication. Oh my gosh. Macari, Depop, they're kind of like by sideways, but either way. And I did stop wearing my Oura ring, and I'll explain that later, why I did. So that's about it. 13 minutes, 52 seconds. All right, let's go on and talk about cancer, shall we? Okay, cancer update. It's not going to be long. Kicked my butt. I've had a rough time. Very rough. I have developed a food, can't remember the name. But anyway, I don't want to eat. There's things that bother me. This bothers me. It's been bad. I was down for 4 days, no food, no water, no nothing. It was just total dark. It was bad. It was so bad. So he cut my my AC back 10%, and this has been better. Way fatigued. Oh my gosh, I am still very fatigued. I'm still having stomach issues. I have one more dose of Red Devil on Wednesday, and then I'm done. Then I have 12 weeks of Taxol, which I have been told by so many people that it's going to be easier. My hair is going to start to grow back. Main concerns are rashes, neuropathy, and I'm trying to think what else. But you know what? It's like, we'll find out. That's how it all goes. So I have 12 weeks of that. But that last week when I didn't do a video it was a dark place, man. It was bad. And yeah, but I'm better and I'm back. I absolutely feel chemo is barbaric, but there is no other way. And please do not tell me your herbal remedies. And here's how I feel, because I am into herbal remedies, and I was a healthy girl. I didn't smoke. I barely drank. I, kept a good weight. I didn't exercise as much as I should. I ate organic everything to the point where my kids couldn't stand it. And yeah, healthy girl who takes vitamins, does herbs, and she gets cancer. It's not in my genes. And the cancer that I have, some of the reasons why you get it are obesity, alcohol consumption, smoking, and genes. None of that, because I did the genealogy test and it's not in my genes. So here we are. But anyway, the only way to touch, I have triple negative, which means that it is not hormone or estrogen fueled. So the only way to attack it is with chemotherapy. I'm very, 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 very lucky. I'm very blessed that God was watching out for me the way it all played out. And sometimes I don't feel that way when I am on my back for 4 days and feeling like the world is ending. But caught early, I have a 95 to 97% survival rate, and I just have to go through this ugly crap to get to the end. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The only other thing I have to say is this: I love making my own lemonade, and I am still using monk fruit as my sweetener. And it's so funny because here I'm gonna share. Here's a secret. My son and I were talking the other day, and I was talking about sugar, and I had bought lemonade, and what is it? Simply Lemonade has 27 grams of sugar per serving. That's a lot of sugar. And I was all like going off about sugar and stuff like that, but look what's in my drawer. And these have 20 grams per serving. So 27 pieces of these. And I only use these because sometimes my mouth just tastes like metal. And so I eat a few of these, but these are horrible. These are bad. I would never have eaten these before in my life, but I have cancer and I can eat what I want right now. But anyway, I make my own lemonade and I love it. How can a whole lemon not taste like lemon? Like, that's a whole lemon and it's all squished up in there, and I pounded it down and then I put ice and I shook it up, and yeah. And normally I only use one lemon. I'm gonna have to use 2 the next time. This, I love lemonade, love. And I'm still battling the, I use monk fruit as my sweetener, and I don't use allulose. I don't use anything else really. If I use a sweetener, it's either going to be sugar, because in some things, if you make bread or things like that, you need sugar to cause the chemical reaction, that you need with the yeast. But in that, I use monk fruit, and maybe how can you? I was so disappointed. I wanted to taste some really good homemade lemonade. So tomorrow, because that's a lot of lemonade to drink, I'll try again, and I'll just use 2 of the lemons. I did buy the lemons from Walmart. Yes, they are organic. Yes, I washed them. But yeah, and I don't like buying produce at Walmart because their stuff isn't that good. So anyway, yeah, you could get me going down that whole rabbit hole of healthy and blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, I actually went to the health food store to pick up some organic cereal, Cascadian Farms Raisin Bran. I love it, my favorite. And the kid at the counter gave me a book. I just wanted to slug him. And he told me how he had met the author and how you can cure cancer holistically. Nasty. And I disagree. I 120% disagree. And I meant not have always disagreed. But the time to worry about cancer is long before you get it. Long before. Like, you can't be an avid smoker, you can't be an alcoholic or just somebody who drinks all the time. You cannot be obese and then get cancer or diabetes and then be like, oh, now I need to take my herbs and things like that. It just doesn't work like that. And I will stand my ground on that, put my flag there. I know. And sometimes stuff happens. And I don't know why. And sometimes I look in the mirror and go, why? Why me? But for whatever reason, I am going through this, and I might have a reason for it, and then I might not. I don't know. But that is that. And I've talked enough. And I just wanted to let you know how I'm doing. You guys like the cancer update. You'd like to know how I am doing. If anybody has a bag of really good lemons, send them to me. I'm kidding. I mean, what do lemons taste like in California? Like, are they like the most amazing thing ever? When I went to Israel, they greet you at every hotel you go with fresh orange juice. The most amazing orange juice you will ever taste in your life. So I kind of imagine that that's what lemons are like in California. All right, I'm done. You guys have a great day. I'm doing fine.